We welcome you back to the LHSAA Network Game of the Week, just in time for the second half kickoff. Southern Lab with a 6-0 lead over the Kentwood Kangaroos. Southern Lab not playing like a team that's lost 3 in a row against a quality squad like Kentwood, who's won 4 of their last 5. Garrett Walbert, Gary Beckwith, and Steve Schneider on the sidelines. Our kickoff is underway. The Roos have it at the 20. And trying to turn this one up the field and make a little noise is Jamarius Campbell. Campbell pushed out shy of the 35-yard line. Jerry, I'd ask you, what does Kentwood need to do to get back in this ball game? But they're in the ball game. They've only given up a single touchdown. They just need to get some first downs on offense and move the ball.
They do. I think they need to get the run game going with Sean Burton. He's averaging over 100 yards a game. So I think they need to get the run game going. I know they've been coming out tonight throwing the football, trying to get some short routes, dink and dunk on the 5 wide, but get Burton going. Go against this young Southern Lab defensive lineman. They struggled last week against the run game against Kaplan. So you want to come out and try to establish the run game in the second half. And for Southern Lab, continue to do what you've been doing, limit the mistakes and the penalties. I think that's what they probably talked about at halftime. So we should have an exciting second half.
Creston Hawkins, big number 72 on the line for Southern Lab. Let's see if they can get some penetration here against Kentwood. Randall Johnson, a senior D lineman as well, 6'4", 255 on the end. Kentwood's first play from scrimmage. Quick pass to Burton. Burton is smothered. Loss of about a yard on the play. Big stop there by Landon Gloston.
And we see them make those little bubble screens to Burton. This is like a run play. Even though it's just a quick little hit out to the flat, they still trying to give him the football. But they've had some success with Burton running the football in that second quarter. Kind of got away from it. So I think they need to get back to it and try to get physical with the Southern Lab defense.
Burton's had 2 games this year, over 150 yards. Takes a pitch left side, and he will be stopped and stood up by Jarius Harris. The junior is fired up on the outside.
I don't want people at home to realize that was a tough tackle, tough hit at the time. Did a great job of reading that speed option to the boundary. Did a great job coming downhill and making a nice physical, hard tackle.
You got to be physical against Burton. He weighs 215 pounds.
And you don't want to go sideline to sideline with the Southern Lab defense. They're extremely fast. You want to attack them up the middle of the field.
Kentwood needs 13 yards here on 3rd down. Ahmad Bickham has it over the middle, in and out of the fingertips of Chance Briggs. I think he led the receiver just a touch there. I love the play call, though.
He did. He had him wide open, just threw a little bit too far. They did this in the first half with a pump fake, but they ran a real route. This time they did a pump fake and tried to hit a slant over the middle, just let him a little bit too far. That's a throw that he has to get his feet set, get his shoulders squared, and just deliver it. Don't overthink it. Get your feet set and deliver the football and try to pick up a first down.
Kentwood is now 1 for 5 on 3rd downs in our ball game. Back to receive, Marquez Williams. Williams at the 38. He's got a block. Turns the corner. Williams over the 40. He's got green grass in front of him. Marquez Williams to the house. Touchdown, Southern.
We always talk about it, G, every week. Offense, defense, but we never talk about special teams. Special teams is an intricate part of the game plan, and that time Southern Lab took advantage of it.
What an electric start for Southern Lab here in the 3rd quarter.
He had a nice return in the first half. They set up the wall to the right side. This time Marquez Williams follows the wall, gets to the left side. Nobody is within 5 to 10 yards of him at all. Don't understand where that Kentwood punt coverage was on that play. Marquez Williams take advantage of it, goes to the end zone, and gets the touchdown.
Second extra point attempt coming for Jaden Fletcher, the freshman tight end. His first attempt was a little bit wide right. That one's up and over the crossbar. That makes it Southern Lab 13, Kentwood nothing. A punt return for a touchdown to start the third quarter, and Southern Lab is firmly in control.
They are, and that's a momentum swing. Anytime you can get a special teams touchdown, whether it's kickoff, a punt return, it does a lot for a football team. And so those guys are definitely juiced up on the sideline, and I expect that defense to come out and play extremely hard coming on the second drive.
There you see Coach Cornelius Blunt. Here's the answer to our Game of the Week trivia. Southern Lab plays its home games at a college campus. How about the other LHSAA football programs? Let's take a look at the answer for our Game of the Week. Turpin Stadium, of course, and Guidry Stadium up at Nichols State. Covenant Christian plays their games at the home of the Colonels. Natchitoches Central and St. Mary's, of course, at Turpin Stadium up in Natchitoches. We appreciate the LHSAA for their Game of the Week trivia. Well, we talked about his return ability. Marcus Williams against Independence took the opening kickoff 39 yards, allowed Southern to get in position on offense, but a huge turn of momentum there. Returns that punt, and now the Kittens are cruising. Kentwood on the outside with a short return. We've got Steve Schneider down on the sidelines for our game. Steve, I'd love to hear what the momentum and the atmosphere was like for Southern Lab down on their sideline after that big return.
Well, obviously, it's a big moment for them. Interestingly enough, I talked to Kentwood coach Cornelius Blunt during halftime. Down by 6 points, but could be a lot worse. And he said, I'm totally confident. He's instituted a fourth quarter program where the 7 guys who never leave the field condition, lift weights, nutrition during the season so they can finish strong in the fourth. They're definitely going to have to do that here tonight.
That fourth quarter program has gotten them to 5-2 in his first season. They power forward here. It was really cool to hear about the Kentwood program. You know, Cornelius Blunt's a guy who was a 4-year starter and played under Jonathan Foster, coached under Jonathan Foster, who's now in administration with the school. He's a Kentwood guy, loves that community, loves being part of the football lore, and is leading this program now.
It is amazing. It's tremendous for these athletes, especially with Kentwood. These guys never come out the field, so the conditions that they're in definitely give them pat themselves on the back. In a prime example, if you put in the work in the offseason and put yourself in a position to be successful, that's what Kentwood is doing right now, especially with their fourth quarter program.
That's a tough penalty right there on Kentwood. It was 2nd and 5. They'll give it all back.
On the field. Penalty goes to Kentwood.
If you were with us at halftime, you saw our memorial tribute to Coach Baglio. The Kentwood community is also mourning the loss of one of their coaches, Elton Shaw. Shaw was a Kentwood graduate who later coached the Roos to their first state title in 1969. Shaw played for the Packers and won more than 200 games. There you see Coach Blunt, the current Roos head coach. He was a 2005 graduate of Kentwood and played in the Superdome for the Roos. Powering forward is Sean Burton.
If I'm Kentwood, even though you're down a couple scores, like, you don't panic. Like that coach said, he still believes they're in this football game. So stick with your game plan. Still get Burton going. Attack this defense up the middle. I think you have some success running the football.
A keeper by Bickham. He's got blockers. Takes on one defender and falls forward towards the 50-yard line. Again, Elton Shaw, the coach that passed away, that helped start the great tradition at Kentwood. He passed away earlier this month at 91 years old. Bickham moves the chains with that run. Ball's placed on the 49.
That's how they were able to do a read option, Garrett, and get Bickham to the outside, uses speed, and picks up the first down.
Jaron Smith and Randall Johnson on the inside on that defensive front for Southern. Trying to get some pressure. Bickham's got time to pass. This one's picked up by Jermaine Brown. Brown's got offers from ULL and Mississippi Valley State. What Steve talking about Jerry Rice earlier in the broadcast? Here's a Mississippi Valley reference.
It'll be first down.
One thing I have been extremely impressed tonight for Bickham is that he's going through all of his reads. He's scanning the football field. That time, he went to the left, didn't see anything, scanned all the way across the field, and was able to hit his receiver over the middle, Jermaine Brown.
That moved the chains now up to the 39-yard line, 1st and 10. Burton weaving his way through traffic, falls forward and picks up an extra 2 yards.
Number 9, Jamarian Burton.
Good yards that time on first down. Great run play. You see Burton is telling his coaches, give it to me again, keep feeding me. He's getting in his zone right now.
Kentwood on this drive trying to cut the lead in half, trailing 13-0. Bickham goes airborne. We'll see where the spot is. They are 2 yards shy of a first down.
Number 7.
Again, just a sophomore. I love that he goes airborne and just sells out for his team, trying to move the sticks.
Right on the read option. Anytime you do a read option, he's reading that defensive end. If the defensive end crashes down, he keeps it, gets to the edge. If the defensive end stays, you give it. Great read that time by Bickham to get around the edge and get to a third short situation.
Burton again, right side. He'll move the chain, still on his feet. Takes on a defender. He's up to the 15-yard line.
Good response so far from this Kentwood offense. Obviously, Southern Lab got the big touchdown special teams. Being more physical, running the football. Right here, Burton gets up the middle, sticks that foot in the ground, gets north and south, runs through a tackle, lowers his shoulder, and again, run the football. Run the football, I think he can set up the passing game for this Kentwood offense.
I think they'll give it to Burton again. This time he's got a wall to run behind. Gets up towards about the 12-yard line. Earlier this season, Coach Asbury told us the front line for Southern Lab's pretty experienced, but they've struggled in recent games during the fourth quarter. They had a 26-12 lead over Madison Prep, but running back Alfred McKnight rushed for 2 touchdowns in the fourth, and the Chargers finished with 192 yards, getting the win, 36-26. Southern's defense cannot wilt right here against Kentwood.
If I'm Kentwood, I'm running the football. I see some D linemen tapping the helmets because they're ready to come out the game.
Burton makes a step, avoids a defender, but they slow him down and wrap him up in the backfield. This will be spotted on the line of scrimmage. If they can get the ball to the 5, they'll have 1st and goal. Coach Burton saying go.
And those safeties from Southern Lab is going to determine what you do offensively, especially pre-snap and his quarterback pre-snap read. If you see one single high safety, you may want to try to run a couple routes toward the safety and make a decision.
To the corner of the end zone, caught, touchdown, Chance Briggs. First touchdown of the night for Kentwood, and they cut the lead in half. Great pass by Ahmad Bickham.
Great throw right here. Again, single high safety on the slant route. Chance Briggs holds onto that football, attacks the football with his hands, able to get in the end zone. An outstanding throw. We have a cornerback underneath and a safety over the top. Great job that time by Bickham from sticking that football in there.
You can see it. Briggs has the size at 6'2", 200 to take on those defensive backs and bully his way into the end zone. They'll go for 2. Keeper by Bickham. He's flushed. Nothing but open space in front of him. The 2-point conversion is good for Ahmad Bickham. A 5-point ball game here in the 3rd quarter.
Great response from Kentwood. Steve talked to the coach at halftime. He said they're not going to give up. They're still in this football game, and that's the way you respond. Right here, Bickham on the touchdown. Slant route goes corner underneath, safety over the top. Outstanding play, outstanding catch that time as well. And right on the 2-point conversion, fakes the handoff, tries to get in the end zone, doesn't see anything, tucks it, runs, and gets in the end zone.
A couple of times on that drive, they converted a 3rd down, and they answered that punt return touchdown. I think if they wouldn't have had an answer there, Derry, they might have packed it in a little bit.
So again, good job, great response. And what they did, Garrett, what did we talk about? Run the football. They're able to run the football. They established the run on that drive. Anytime you can establish the run, it's going to open up the passing game. I think we overcomplicate football way too much.
You see a smile on the face of Cornelius Blunt. 10 years as the offensive coordinator for Kentwood. He helped them to win state titles in 2015 and 2018. He was a ball player back in the day, Arkansas Monticello, and he's still just 37 years old. I really think the best of his career is in front of him.
Just let you know, 37 years is really young because I'm 37. really. Hey, he's still young. Coach, I see you, baby.
Kickoff coming by LaMichael Callahan to the 19-yard line for Southern Lab. Here's Williams, who just returned a punt for a touchdown. Gets an honest gain up over the 30. Our game tonight is brought to you by Coca-Cola, real magic. And by MMR, building on a tradition of success. By Ochsner and the Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute. And by Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture. We're live at A.W. Mumford Stadium here on the campus of Southern University. Southern Lab leading 13-8. The Kittens ran off 13 unanswered, but Kentwood, after giving up a punt return for a touchdown, has injected themselves right back into this ball game. Jerry Botley IV has moved Southern Lab down the field. They've scored one touchdown. Pushes off a defender, and he will be mobbed as he goes out of bounds. They had one scoring drive where Trevoris Norman rushed it in, and then, of course, the punt return by Williams.
And right here that time, Kentwood does a great job applying pressure with a four-man front. They did a great job in zone coverage on the back end. Botley wasn't able to see anything downfield. Great job, great pursuit from this Kentwood defense. And now it looks like they're playing with a little extra juice right now defensively, something we haven't seen all game long.
Three wide receivers, top of your screen for Southern. Asbury picks up a block. Botley still looking downfield. Backdoor presence on him. He'll go to the near sideline and keeps his feet.
That's Terrell Smith, the linebacker, again on the play. Does a great job. Kentwood is doing an outstanding job right now in zone coverage. They're only rushing four. They're dropping everybody else, keeping everything in front of them, and Botley has nowhere to go with the football.
Now 3rd and 9 for the Kittens. Let's watch Smith in pursuit. Smith, just a sophomore. The outside linebacker came into the game with over 60 tackles in 7 games.
Right now they have a three down front.
Running play designed for Asbury. He's at the 30, draws contact for no gain. Asbury currently poised to stay on campus. He's a Southern University commit in his final season. He's a talented player, Derry. I think any school that gets him is going to be very happy with the production he gives them.
He is. And on that 3rd and long, I think Southern Lab saw the 3-man front for Kentwood to see if they can catch him off guard again the run play. But even on that 3-man front, Kentwood did a great job of getting off a block and still making a tackle and to get this ball back into the offensive hands. And Kentwood right now, even on their sidelines on the field, they got a little extra pep in their step.
4th and 11 coming up for Southern Lab. Into the ball game, number 16, Alexander Williams, who is a freshman defensive back, but he's on special teams. Whistles blow. False start on the offense. That'll back them up another 5 yards.
Penalty marker down on the play. False start against Southern Lab. Remains 4th down.
Our white hat for today's game, a veteran, Al Weathersby. The ball's moved back to the 26-yard line. This punt is away. It'll bound inside the 40 and take a kitten roll. And Kentwood will have fairly good field position to start. Let's go back down to the sidelines. Steve Schneider, man, it is good to have you back on the airwaves. Glad you're with us.
Thank you, Garrett. I find it fascinating. We didn't get him on camera, but Coach Blunt said at halftime, I'm not worried. those guys are tired. Our fourth quarter program, they're gassed. We're going to take advantage of that. They've done it all season, and we might see that happen here as they get another possession now headed toward the fourth quarter.
Thank you very much, sir. Back up here in the press booth, Garrett Wolver, Derry Beckwith with tonight's matchup. Steve, can you think when's the last time you did sideline?
Well, I know I'm pretty sure it was in the 90s. The Bayou Beast indoor team won the national championship. I was a sideline reporter for that network broadcast. The beer man, Michael Lewis, was the champion, and I got dumped with Gatorade and ruined my $900 suit.
Ouch.
And I got paid $200.
But you came out on top. The team that covers won a championship.
Buford Jordan appreciated me being there. I can tell you that.
The Bayou Beast, I'm trying to remember, is that a Barrett Murphy coach team? Who was the coach back then?
Barrett Murphy was one of the coaches. It was owned by the Shivers, and Buford Jordan was the head coach. He had played, in the USFL for the Breakers from McNeese. And I think, did we say he was from Iota, the trivia question we did last week?
Right.
So, yeah, it's good times.
Kentwood moves the chains, first down. Bickham draws the man behind him and gets knocked free. Incomplete pass. Southern Lab with a little backdoor presence.
That time right there, they're trying to hit something over the middle. Again, they're attacking these safeties from Southern Lab, and it's all started because of the run game of Burton. They finally decided in the second half, we're going to give the ball to our workhorse, and he's opening things up for him.
No loss on the play. We take a look, though.
Right, this time Southern Lab was able to get pressure off the edge with the blitz from the outside linebacker. Was able to force an incomplete pass. Jarius
Harris helped that pass miss its mark. Here's Burton through one level of the defense. He's over midfield. And that's enough to move the sticks.
I want to talk about something. Last week, obviously, Southern Lab didn't play well against Kaplan. They couldn't stop the run. If I'm Kentwood, I'm going to come out and test your manhood and test it and see, okay, did you bounce back from last week, or are you still reeling from the run game? And so right now, I lean heavy. I run the football until the skin falls off the football if I'm Kentwood.
Pass into the flats to Campbell. Campbell is stopped for no gain. Big tackle there by Southern Labs. Gerald Seaton, a sophomore.
Right on the bubble screen. Comes up, makes a great play. Unblocked. That's a block that Kentwood needs to make. But, again, great play that time by the defender from Southern Labs to come out and make that play.
Second down and long. They'll need 12 yards to convert here. Kentwood trying to score on back-to-back possessions to take the lead. Burton lets the hole open up. Knocks down one linebacker. And he's just shy of the first down marker with the spot of the official on the far sideline.
They're picking up positive yards every time they give him the football.
That was an 11-yard run by Burton.
He was telling the coach earlier he did the spoon signal to keep feeding him, so I expect a lot of Burton in the second half.
Burton shoves one man aside. He's up to the 35-yard line of Southern Lab. Kentwood's put up big numbers the last 2 weeks. Their defense has only allowed 6 points in each ball game. They manhandled Independence 56-6. Bickham ran for 110 yards. Burton has been so good this season. He missed the A-Meet game, but other than that, he's had huge performances. 148 yards against Jules Sumner, 178 yards and 4 touchdowns against East Feliciana. I think he's getting a rest here, otherwise he's spread out wide. Man in motion is Brown. Brown on what looks like a jet sweep. Tries to turn the corner, a flag flies, and he's pushed out of bounds. Brown's a guy with 4.4 40 speed.
Penalty marker down. Holding called against Kentwood.
If I'm Kentwood, I understand that you have guys who can fly. I understand you have guys who can run and can probably outrun a horse, even on their bad day. But right now, if you're attacking this defense up the middle but running the football, you don't want to go sideline to sideline, because if you do that, you have situations like this where you pick up a holding call right there at the top of the screen by the wide receiver, number 2 for Kentwood, and those type of things happen. I'm not changing anything. I'm still continuing to run the football, be physical, downhill, get north and south. You only get east and west on the Southern Lab defense because you're playing into their strengths.
Bickham, a little indecisive, jets forward, and he's up to the 40-yard line. That'll be a much more manageable second down. Looks like the ball came loose as he hit the ground. That'll be the end of the third quarter. Put up the 4s. We are ready here on the LHSAA Network Game of the Week. It's 13-8. Southern Lab with the lead over Kentwood. Don't go anywhere. The Roos are knocking on the door here at Mumford Stadium.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Welcome back into historic Mumford Stadium on the campus of Southern University, the LHSAA Network Game of the Week. The start of the fourth quarter, Southern Lab with a 13-8 lead, but Kentwood with the ball. They are in Southern Lab territory, trailing by 5. Ahmad Bickham just converted a first down. And they are trying to, that fourth quarter program that Steve Schneider was talking about, trying to show it off here, offense and defense. Can they overwhelm Southern, who has a lead on their home field? Bickham with Burton in the backfield. Now 2nd and 14. Pass out to the flats. Brown picks up a block, darts forward to about the 35-yard line. 6 yards on the hookup.
In a play like that, I'd rather them do something like that, get a quick pass to Jermaine Brown, because anytime you try to run a sweep, you get the defense time to pursue the football. When you get a quick hit like that to Jermaine Brown, now he can make the decision. He's in control on what he can do, and I don't mind that, but when you get sweeps and long development plays on the edges, you give Southern Lab defense time to pursue.
Man in motion is Campbell. Bickham pump fakes, throws it low just so his receiver can catch it, but that's too low for Chance Briggs.
The third down pass falls incomplete.
And again, right, they're trying to go to the pump fake where they fake the little bubble route and try to hit a slant. At that time, Southern Lab defense wasn't fooled. The safety did not bite on the pump fake. He stayed at home. They were able to pick up an incomplete pass and turn over on downs for this Kentwood offense. And Southern Lab has to get something going offensively. I mean, they haven't scored since the first quarter on the first drive.
Briggs kicks this one into the end zone. He's been very steady tonight, the sophomore wide receiver who's been forced in as a punter. Our game tonight brought to you by Coca-Cola Real Magic, by MMR, building on a tradition of success, by Ochsner and the Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute, and by Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture. Derry, how good is Kentwood? Their power rating is number 4 in the state for 1A. Coach Blunt's team is ranked ahead of undefeated Jeanerette and St. Edmund, where Southern Lab, they've fallen to number 16. That's after they were ranked number 1 after 4 weeks. Trying to get off a 3-game losing streak. Kittens back out on offense here. And a new quarterback in, I believe, for Southern. That's Dexter Ricard. Ricard's a freshman QB, 5'9", 175.
Anytime you do a quarterback change like that, don't know if something wrong with Molly's health, or are they trying to get another spark. Like I said, they haven't got anything going since that first quarter on the first draft. So sometimes when you get a new quarterback in the game, see if they can get something going and get a spark for the Southern Lab offense.
So Ricard with the pitch to Asbury. He's over the 25, up to the 30 before he's out of bounds. He'll be very close to a first down.
Number 7, Amarion Asbury.
Right here, they're getting trying to go with the read option. Does a great job, Ricard, of getting down the line of scrimmage right here. Getting the pitch, attacking the line of scrimmage, attacking the defender, pitching at the last minute. And was able to pick up positive yards. Asbury on that run.
Maybe we'll see both teams. There's Botley on the sideline moving around. Maybe we'll see both teams lean on the running game here. Can Asbury, the 6'1", 205-pound senior, grind out the clock on Kentwood? Picked up a first down on that last run. Ricard, a freshman, in at quarterback. Here's a nice run around the end by Trevoris Norman. Norman trying to turn on the Jets and outrun the secondary. He's finally brought down at the 20-yard line. A 40-yard pickup for Trevoris Norman.
Right here, Norman, again, a read option. This time he gave it. Norman breaks to the outside, picks up a big first down, but looked like it's coming back on the holding call from Southern Lab.
That's a tough loss for Southern Lab, but likely the right call by our officiating crew. The Southern fans are letting them hear it a little bit.
No, they don't like that at all. I think they're ready to see this offense kind of kicking in another gear, and to have a big run like that negated for a penalty is something that they don't like, and I know the coaches from Southern Lab is not going to like as well. Take a look at Norman. He's like, man, I just ran down the field and don't have any more wind left. Help me out, guys. Help me out, offensive lineman. But he's been running the football extremely tough tonight.
Norman already has 1 rushing touchdown on the night. Dexter Ricard stays in at QB, the 5'9" freshman. Asbury behind him. Under 10 minutes remaining here in this district opener for both teams. Maybe a little miscommunication here, and Southern Lab burns their first time out of the quarter. Tonight is the district opener. Both schools are in District 9 1A. You know what? I think they kept it. They just had him run over to the sidelines. He couldn't get the signal in. Should be 1st and 7, balls on the 33-yard line. Again, the other teams in this district, Central Private and Thrive Academy. They play Friday. Central Private, a pretty good team. They're 4-3 on the year.
Again, I know you got a young quarterback and a freshman trying to run the football, but you at some point got to throw the football. Let's see if they try to throw in this first down and try to go take and win this football game.
Asbury in the backfield. Hand off to him. Can't get by LaMichael Callahan. the man who started every game since 9th grade with the tackle for loss.
Right, Michael Callahan beats the tackle to the point of attack, takes on the guard, gets off the block, gets in the backfield. I'm extremely impressed with Michael Callahan. We've had the privilege to go across all the state of Louisiana and see some fine football players. And Michael Callahan is probably one of the finest football players that I've seen the past 2 years.
Callahan scored a touchdown in last year's game with that 5-yard fumble recovery. Ricard, first passing attempt that's caught, far sideline. That'll bring up 3rd and a little more manageable to Denham Hunt. He's kind of had a quiet night last year, nearly 1,000 yards receiving, just his 2nd catch of the game.
He is. Kentwood's done an outstanding job of making sure they do a blanket coverage on Denham Hunt and keep him out the game plan. And right here, Ricard finds him. You can see the moves that he has, and he's able to make a lot of yards after the catch. He did it well last week against Kaplan, caught the ball and made a lot of yards after the catch, so they got to get him involved.
3rd and 4 coming up. Ricard with the keeper.